Yeah.
Okay. Boom. Hey, everybody. We are live. Let us know in the chat room if everything is working. I'm seeing bars moving here, so.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hearing things, so that means they're probably hearing you.
Yes, I hear things.
See,
too.
bars moved when you talked, so.
Oh, what the heck just happened?
Oh, yeah. I feel like all professional and junk now.
Yeah.
Hey.
What? Why do you feel professional?
What the lights?
Oh.
Because they're like huge.
Oh, they're probably much bigger than what we have.
Huge.
I don't know. I don't remember how big the bulbs actually were, but like the bulbs for this are like this big.
That needs to come down right now.
What?
What?
That picture needs to come down right now.
All right.
Oh, is it like proprietary type stuff?
No, I hate my posed pictures.
I love it. It's the best.
It is completely horrible, and it actually got made fun of in a manager's meeting.
Aww.
I'm so sorry. That's awful.
Oh, don't worry. It wasn't just my picture. It was every single picture that was taken to put up on the company page
Website?
for our store.
They were pretty cheesy pictures, but I loved it because I like cheese.
Oh, I was like, why isn't the picture showing? And I was like, oh, yeah, because I minimized it.
Well, I'm sorry that you had a bad experience with it.
I had a bad
I hate every posed picture I'm ever in.
Really?
Yeah, like the cupcake one. That was great. That was stupid. It was candid. We were at a party.
I don't know. You post for this picture I put up.
Well,
Wait,
yeah.
so
but
you
that was,
didn't
we were
know?
being
You did not
stupid.
know the cupcake one was being taken?
No, that's a selfie. We were literally taking a picture. But like the point he hates serious photos, I think is what he's saying. Like
Yeah.
serious
Oh my gosh.
pose.
I got it. I'm just being technical.
Yeah.
Matt commented that he was happy that the cupcake finally got eaten.
Yeah, I know.
Oh well.
Well, it's not the cupcake one though.
That's true.
I know
the
it's not
cupcake
up there.
anymore
That,
still.
yeah, I didn't put the cupcake back.
So it's still good. It's still you know
Nope.
continuity is contained.
True.
Yeah, now we just got to work on. You never called me, by the way, when we were going to talk about mics and stuff.
Are we talking to Philip?
Yeah,
But yeah, we were going to do that.
Okay.
it's all good. Yeah, so
right.
we got a couple people at least in the chat. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Matt.
Couple
And
people and
Collin.
Matt. Is that what you said?
I said I know Matt and
Oh,
Collin,
okay.
and then I thrust a Beatles in there.
By the way, I need to get y'all dice.
Oh yeah. Well, we have to give you some stuff before we leave town, so
Yeah.
we can exchange goods.
Oh, that's right. He's got to. Beetle said he'd catch it later.
Bye, Beetle.
Bye-bye. All right. Do you need to test audio stuff?
Oh, I guess I could. Make it stop.
He has to turn the volume
I
off
got
for the soundboard on his
the
computer.
stinking team viewer. I barely hear that.
See, it
Yeah.
sounds fine over here.
Oh my gosh, my sister's FaceTiming me.
It is podcast time.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't,
just bring her
it's
in.
just the funky
Special
thing.
guest star Katie.
No, it's probably Olivia. Whenever there's a FaceTime from her, it's usually Olivia.
Das baby.
Yep.
She probably wanted to say goodnight to me or something. It's about Olivia's bedtime.
Or excuse me, it would be like Das Kinder.
Why are they so quiet?
Well, it just depends on when I hit it in relation to other things happening.
Okay.
She's like, watch me pee.
Of course, that one's really loud.
I'm a champion. What? Was it the tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips?
Tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. Tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. Berta!
Berta!
I think it's probably Letterkenny.
It is Letterkenny. All right,
The other thing that we found that just brings people together, no matter where you live or what your status in life is.
I don't know how I get cat hair on the mic when the cats haven't been down here.
Because it
Have they
comes
been
off of
rubbing on your
clothes.
face and then you rub your face on the mic?
Maybe. I don't know. All right.
That's how STDs transfer.
That's true. Are we ready to get started?
I am ready.
Okay. Start the show in 3, 2, 1. Thanks to everyone who supported our Patreon. For extra content, make sure you go check out patreon.com/boardsandswords. Live from Swordplay Studios, it's time for Boards and Swords.
What?
Boards and Swords. What? For some reason, I keep stretching like I need to be limber while I'm doing this. But hey, out there, everybody, and welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast where we have fun talking about board games and entertaining people at the same time. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Renshaw. On the other side of the internet, we've got Collin and Cindy Pastorius.
Hello.
Hello.
And then shortly just down the internet from them is Mr. Philip Herbig.
What's going on, everybody?
It's just a couple of tubes over.
Yeah. If it's the information superhighway, he's the next stop. I forgot what they're called. Off ramp.
Exit?
Exit. Thank you. That's the word. Exit.
Oh my goodness.
If you're
Actually,
in Germany, they're called an Ausfahrt.
no. Actually,
They
if it was a highway, then it would just be he's when you turn left instead of right. It's the same exit.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Anyways, how is everyone this evening? Hey to the people in the chat room. I know Beetle was in there a second ago. Matthew Hawker's in there. Anyone else? Say hey. Let us know what you're playing. Let's have a party. This is a podcast,
Yeah.
but it's also a conversation. And like any conversation, let's have some. There you go. I was gonna say bad segue, but that works too.
No segue is better than bad segue.
All right, first up, Alexander Pfister will be working with Capstone Games to release his newest game, Cloud Age. I want to put it together.
You
Cloud
want to
Age.
combine the words.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This game is set in a post-apocalyptic world where you search out barren wastelands in your airship to find resources. If you're just happening to have trouble visualizing that theme, imagine trying to find anything of value on Facebook. Same thing.
Oh my gosh.
I will
Alexander Pfister's good.
say that the game looked the cover that they showed looked beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a recent haboob in Arizona.
Dust cloud.
Yeah,
Or dust
a
storm.
big dust storm. And there was this one photography person we follow on Instagram, and he had a
Mhm.
bunch of pictures of it. And we thought we were looking at the cover of that game.
Wow.
Yeah. just because of the way it was. I don't know, the way he had framed it was a still from a video, and just the way it was, it looked like the cover of Cloud Age. I was like, wait a second. I had to like pause my stories for a second on Instagram. I'm like, hold on, wait, this is a photography page, not a board game page.
By the way, Matthew is saying he just played Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. I need a BGG link to that like right now.
I need to play it again, Matt. When
we
we're
played that a
totally
couple
playing
times.
that.
I've never heard of this, or I didn't think I'd heard of it.
It's kind of like
Egyptian rat
screw.
Gotcha.
Where you're saying one thing and putting down cards, and when the word you're saying matches the card that was played, you slap.
So if it's like Egyptian rat screw, is it one of those games where everybody has a different way of playing it?
No.
Because I remember that was the thing in high school. Whenever you were playing that game, it was like, okay, what rules are we playing? Are we playing, sandwiches? Are we playing, doubles, sevens on jacks, or whatever?
No, the twist on this game is you just don't want to be the last person in.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a lot.
And you actually want to get rid of all your cards.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So this next piece of news was mandatory, or else I felt like Collin and Cindy would never speak to me again. But the final expansion for Western Legends, titled Blood Money, is now up on Kickstarter.
And how fast do you think it took us to back this?
As soon as you got the notification, or actually, my money's going to be on. You were there hitting refresh, waiting for the page to go up.
Yep.
That's what my money's on.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, sorry. Finish your news.
If you've enjoyed all the content they've released so far, you are sure to enjoy the new bits that this expansion adds. Like there's a risk die, there's new characters, even like owning buildings on the board and new game modes. So, fun fact, my friend Wesley wanted to try this game out, but he was overwhelmed by all the decisions. So I made him a diagram with like a lot of symbols. In fact, it had so many symbols it needed a legend. A Western legend.
Oh my gosh. I like your...
I give it a pass.
Yeah, I don't... I liked what you said on our, like, intro thing, the text for the video.
Yeah. The show notes for everybody else.
Oh yeah, show notes. There you go. That's what it is.
It wasn't totally bashing the game, so I don't even care. It was like everything's gravy.
See, I was
really
nice.
Bashing Western Legends
no,
with your joke, were you?
No, I was just making a pun.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, sorry.
So, Wormwood, speaking of Kickstarters, has launched a new Kickstarter for a modular gaming table. So the way this works, according to their videos, with this table, you could purchase one of their smaller tables. And then if like you only have so much money, and then later when you have more money and more space and you want a bigger table, you can buy an upgrade kit that you can, like take off some of the legs and put on like longer legs if you want to go from like a coffee table to like a normal table, or you can add extenders on it to make it from like a regular table size to maybe like a deluxe dining room table size. So all sorts of different things. However, the coffee table size versions start at like $400. So my budget is more in the yoga mat sized range.
Yeah, that Kickstarter blew up.
Yeah, it's at like 7. It's like just about hit $7 million, I think.
Million or
yeah,
billion?
Million.
Oh, okay.
If it were billion, that would be
insane.
I don't think anything's ever hit that. So Ravensburger's coming out. All right, I'm just going to caveat this. If you've never seen The Princess Bride, then you're not going to get this joke.
And what's wrong with you?
I'm just going to say that. Also, side note, I have not seen The Princess Bride.
Oh, wow.
What's wrong with you?
I've read the book. I've not watched the video. So that's the only reason I keep my geek card is I've read the book.
Okay.
But anyways, Ravensburger's coming out with the Princess Bride adventure book game, a co-op game based on the cult classic movie that will be out in Target starting in October. Players try to compete challenges in each chapter that require players to be at like the right place at the right time and like spending like certain cards to move onwards. So, however, just keep in mind, don't drop the game at all, or you'll have box dents of unusual size. rodents, box dents.
Oh, okay. I was trying to,
I'm like,
the ROUSs. So I was like BDUS. So I was like, does that make
I know.
something?
I was going through the movie trying to think, what is he talking about?
Anyways,
And it's been a while since I've seen it. So
well,
I,
I
like,
don't think they exist.
Okay, you're probably right. Secondly, I'm just gonna say, you know how hard it is to write, like not only like one joke for a news story, but write multiple jokes for a news story. Because I did the punchboard parade that came out today, where I did a news bit, but that was more of making fake news bits. But I had to go things in a different direction than like if I was a news bit that I had in here.
Oh, right.
So speaking of which, Plaid Hat Games has partnered with Team Covenant in our last story to create Ashes Reborn subscription service. Philip, did you see these? I posted them in the chat, but I figured you probably ignored it.
It all depends on which channel you posted them in.
Yeah, this is the new. It's they're bringing back Ashes: Rise of the Phoenixborn.
I actually saw that outside of anything you posted.
Oh, okay.
I think I got an email to one of my accounts about it.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So probably from Team Covenant, because I know you have had stuff from them in the past. But yeah, as long as their subscription, it's a really interesting model. They're calling it like the player-driven production model, but it's nothing new. It's just like what GMT does it. It's like the P500. Is that what that's called? Yeah. Well, for this, it's like as long as they get 1,000, which they've already succeeded. It was like in 3 days they hit their 1,000. Then they're just going to keep putting out new content for Ashes: Rise of the Phenixborn.
Wow.
That's cool. I know a lot of people like it.
I could go into other thoughts about that, but what I will say is that it's a good thing they use the Phoenix story for their game, because any other time people mention Ashes and Reborn in the same sentence, it's usually not much of a thriller.
Just have to do it again. That's good.
So yeah, that's the news, or at least that's my news. I don't know if anybody else.
I liked what you picked.
I don't know if anybody else in here has news.
Excellent segue. Have I ever told you you're the king of segues? Sometimes.
Oh, okay. Thanks for adding.
Would he be the mall cop of segues?
What?
Oh, like King of Queens?
There you go.
I don't understand.
Kevin James.
Collin
I know Kevin James, and he was mall cop. Paul Blart. Anyway, whatever.
Anyway, yes, Cindy and I are going to be moving soon. We've been talking about that for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, there's going to be some complications with us being able to coordinate and be on the show still. So we are going to be departing from Boards and Swords.
Yeah.
And as a single tear falls from Chris.
Well, it's a single tear that gets sucked back up, because then it's like I can find some people that get my jokes.
Yeah.
That's the new requirement.
Yeah.
It's like that's application. In fact, all the application questions will just be my jokes,
and see how
see who responds.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, since we're going to be doing we've been talking mostly from a two-player perspective anyway. We're going to be trying to start something on our own that focuses on that two-player as a couple type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can keep an eye out for that in the future.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've loved being a part of Boards and Swords. It's been a lot of fun, and, love Chris and Philip a lot. So this has nothing, it's nothing against Boards and Swords. It's nothing, anybody's done. It's just coordination of us moving cross country. It will be quite difficult. And so we've just decided that, we're going to try our own thing for a little while, and maybe we'll hate it. Maybe we'll miss everybody so much and we'll be begging to come back. But
haha, let's see what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. And in fact, I had been kind of preparing mentally for this ever since I heard you guys were moving out, because it was like, well, they say they're staying, but you never know until once you actually get in there. So when Collin sent me a message, it was like, hey, have you got a second to talk? I'm like, I think this might be it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the time difference I think is the biggest issue, and especially with my new job, I'm gonna have some evenings where I'm gonna have to work, and so it's just we don't want to screw things up too much in terms of the timing of when the recordings would be and all that. So it's just easier if we step aside.
However, it's not going to be. You're not going to be. They're not going to be gone completely because one of the things, and this is, I guess it's like a plug for Patreon because they are still going to be on the Tangled in the Slipstream sideshow piece.
Yes.
Actual play piece. So they are still going to be on that. And I think we're hoping to record that soon. I will go ahead and say that. So technically that was our $50 a month tier, and technically we dropped below that. But I will go ahead and reassure patrons that we are still going forward with it. A, because we were there for so many months and we didn't do anything yet because we were still getting stuff together, and plus with all this move stuff. And B, I know there's a lot of people in tight spots right now anyways because of the pandemic, so these aren't exactly normal times.
Right.
So
and you have Collin and I. This is not our last episode. We have this episode, and then we'll do one more, and so one more after.
So if you're listening to this on the day that the podcast episode comes out, then you need to tune in tonight, that night, for their last episode.
Correct. If you want to hear us live.
If you want to hear it live. We're doing it live. So, with that, let's. What about games you've been playing? Which I mentioned it. I spoiled it in the show notes and said you've been playing. Imagine that you've been playing Western Legends. What I want to know is, was it because of the Kickstarter, because you knew it was coming, or were you just like, I want to get the game on the table again?
Oh no, it had been a little while since we'd played Western Legends. Probably I think since April. I think is when was that April?
It had been a while.
Yeah, it had been a while. So we decided, like, you know what, let's bring it to the table. So we played it a couple weeks. Well, no, not a couple weeks ago. It was maybe about a week ago we played it. And, we enjoy our 2-player games very much. And then in our Slack, our Slack for the patrons that we have, one of them mentioned that, I've been, ever since you guys mentioned that Western Legends was a favorite game of yours, my wife and I have been wanting to play it. We were hoping you'd teach us. And we're like, okay, let's play. And so we set up a game to play with them on Tabletop Simulator because Colossal actually has made it available on there now. Although it wasn't Colossal's version, was it?
No, it was someone else's version.
Anyway. But yeah, so Western Legends is on Tabletop Simulator. So we taught it to a couple, and they seem to really enjoy it. Like,
this is my shocked
it was
face
a lot of fun
that they enjoyed the game. They enjoy every game.
No, that's not true.
They make it appear like they enjoy every game.
Okay, yeah, they're very nice people. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't like a game but didn't really make it known. But yeah, the thing about Western Legends is there kind of is a learning curve in a way, because if you're playing with experienced people who know kind of, not that there's one path to victory, because there's not. Oh my gosh, Collin and I have tried so many different ways of playing the game, and they're all viable winning strategies. Mm-hmm. So it's not like there's an overpowered strategy at all in the game.
But knowing how to get points.
But knowing how to get points quickly is definitely key to the game. And when you're new and still trying to become familiar with all the aspects of the game, it can be hard to do well. And so Collin and I definitely unintentionally decimated them.
But we weren't on a team.
But no, we weren't on a team. It's just, we're experienced Western Legend players. And so it was kind of like, I promise I'm not trying to beat you this bad. But no, they had fun.
That sounds like me playing Keyforge with Philip.
Yeah, like Chris was just on autopilot.
Yeah. But it was, so Roger, he at first, at the beginning of the game, his character was dealt with gambling a little bit. And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to try gambling, see what that gets me. And he went to the saloon and gambled a couple times, and every time he lost. And so he basically, and then he fought a bandit, because when you fight the bandits, you can get points for that and get some bonus stuff. And he lost that fight too. And so he felt like he just kind of wasted his first 3 turns because he didn't really get anything, if that makes sense, you know. And not that gambling is bad, because gambling can certainly get you points and help you
in this game.
in this game, in Western Legends. But yeah, so he just felt a little frustrated with himself for not doing as well in his first 3 turns, because he's like, if I had have done something different, I might have had more of a chance of, you know, catching up to everybody. Because his wife Tina was somewhat close in points to us. So she was like within 10 points, but then Roger was like 15, 20 points behind the rest of us.
I think he ended the game with 11 and you
points.
had 30, and I was right behind at 29.
Yeah, and I think Tina had 20. So yeah, but it was fun. We had a good time, and
yeah.
I've been filling up time that I would be playing games with making things, talking about games.
Oh yeah, because you did the punchboard parade.
I did that. So that was for those that don't know, we are part of the Punchboard Media Network, and you see all these like other big channels that have networks. They'll do like the segments, like Board Game Breakfast and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, we have plenty of creators, and it's like, why don't we do something like that and put our own spin on it? So I came up with the idea for Punchboard Parade. So it's hosted. The video's up. The first one's up now on the Punchboard Media YouTube channel, and it's hosted by me and with a couple. This time was about GenCon Online, so we only got a couple segments from people. But it was a lot of fun. It was probably the most work I've put in the shortest amount of video ever. Like the amount of time, the time spent versus the time length of video is probably like the biggest ratio ever. But not only that, I did like 4 videos on our YouTube channel last week.
Oh yeah, you have been putting out a lot of content.
So I've been kind of, because I got criticized a bunch in one of my videos when I was talking about Reddit, that people were talking about, like, if they wanted to find out stuff about Reddit, they had to like find it in the video, and I could have just done, and I should go back and do time codes for that, because that'll help. But it also got me to thinking, I was like, I should be making single point videos, not like a bunch of things mashed together. So I just
not the vlog style like you were doing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wanting, but I think that only really works when you already have the audience that's there, not when you're trying to grow. So like if I was already sitting with like multiple thousands, you know, if I had like other channels numbers, then it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal, but for starting out. So what I did is I just basically did the same thing where I could sit down and just record a bunch of stuff, and then instead of glopping it all together, I could just chop each up into individual videos.
That's
cool.
But
I'll go back to that Ashes bit, because this actually spawned the newest web, or the newest video series I did. Is I was I don't necessarily agree with some of their methodology behind the bringing back Ashes, just because with some of these card games, they're basically cutting the game store out of this, and you only get get this game if you go through Team Covenant. Like there's no other way of getting the game, except for international. I think internationally it'll get sent through retailers, but if you're in the U.S., the only way is through Team Covenant's website, which is like strange. Interlinked with the plaid hat for some of that stuff. Yeah, so which is fine for a lot of games, but in a game like Ashes, I feel like it's good now, and they got the 1,000 now because it's the hotness. But I'm worried that when it's no longer the hotness and the next shiny thing comes out, that all those people are going to move to something else. And then suddenly those numbers will drop to like 600, 500, whatever. And then it's like, well, and now it's over. And now we don't have enough to do anymore. because that's like the thing with card games is, and that's something that Magic's learned over the years, and I'm spoiling some of the web series stuff right here, but whatever, is you have to have player churn. It's not so much about growing your player base, it's about replacing your player base. That's why Magic's existed this long, because every time somebody leaves, there's always more people coming in.
Yeah.
You know, like they have like a target. It's almost like a target.
Right.
Magic almost has like a target age group where it's like after a certain point, you're kind of tired of playing. But once you reach a certain age group, you're like, hey, let me check this out.
Oh, yeah.
So, but because of that, and I wanted to talk about some of those things, I was like, why would anybody believe anything I say? And I was like, it got me thinking about like establishing my cred almost. And so I started doing a video of all the collectible card games that I've played up to this point and breaking them down by card games. So the first one, it's up on our YouTube channel now. The first one is based on a card game. It was the first CCG I ever played called Young Jedi. That was a game that came out to support the Star Wars Episode 1 release. So that was a trip. That was another video I put a lot of time and energy in, just trying to remember how to play that game. And finding out what happened, because it's not only I looked at why I stopped playing it, but I also looked at when the game stopped as well. So there was some interesting reading about that. But I still need to record. But this week's video is going to be about the second CCG I played, which was actually a Christian CCG.
Really? What was that?
It was called Redemption.
Okay.
And I didn't know this. Apparently, they still make this game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I know I had other stuff here in the banter, but that counts as my banter. So somebody else can talk. Oh, that's right. We already got. So, Philip, what about you? What have you been up to?
Still the same thing I've been up to.
What were you playing? You said you were playing a game. I'm assuming that was a video game.
Yeah, it's called Deep Rock.
Deep Rock.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
it's
you
called
cut out.
Deep Rock Galactic.
Ah.
You play dwarfs in space, and you're mining on this planet, and then there's like aliens that come and attack you, and there's beers you can drink.
Because it's a dwarf, of course. That's thematic.
It's real fun. I've been playing that with our friends Chris and Mike.
Nice.
Yeah, we picked it up during a Steam sale, I don't know, a month or two ago, and just been playing that. And then I've been using this very, very nice gaming computer that I built to watch a lot of Netflix.
That seems like a waste.
I built. Hey.
My phone does 4K Netflix.
You're.
Oh wow.
Shut up.
I think it does. I'm pretty sure it does. My TV does. And I know my TV costs less than Philip's computer.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I laugh at myself a lot over I really just built a very expensive Netflix viewing machine.
Jerry got us this nice tip calculator.
Oh my gosh.
I've been seeing people talk about that new Fall Guys game. And I finally
yeah, there's a few streamers who are like online right now playing it for I think someone's playing it for charity for the Human
I had
Society.
just seen pictures of it and I was like, what is the deal with this game? Oh my god, I watched somebody play this game and I need to play this now.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
But the problem is that it's just limited on what you can play it on. Because it's only like PC and PlayStation. I mean, I could play it on PlayStation. But I was watching it with Ashley, and she's like, man, I bet you and Chloe would love this. But it's not like a co-op, couch co-op kind of game where like and so for those that don't know, it's like a battle royale game where you're almost like, imagine if somebody wanted to make Minions without any trademark issues. That's what these guys look like to me. They're like little cute monsters. And that's and it's like basically if you ever seen like one of the MXC or Wipeout, one of those like crazy obstacle courses that just knocks you all over the place. and it's a battle royale where you try and stay in this obstacle course with like 50 other people or something like that. And
the one I saw was like you're trying to not fall down through the layers. You're trying to, like, everything you walk across falls.
Yeah.
And if you're the last one, like, you try to be the last one.
Yeah, like oh, is it out on the Switch? That might be it.
Sorry, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go, guys.
And that's our show.
Well, because the problem was it was only available on like Xbox, PS4, and PC, and I wanted to play it with Chloe, but you couldn't play multiple people on the same. Yeah,
Matt's talking about a different game.
Oh, okay. But like, yeah, you could only play. You can't play multiple people at one box. That's my problem. Is I can't play like me and Chloe. I don't think it would be that hard. They just haven't enabled it yet to where like we could both be on the PlayStation playing.
Oh, okay.
We'd have to have individual things in order to play. Okay. Oh, since they're being brought up, I didn't know Oink. Oh, Oink. Oink. That's the Japanese play that they made Fake Artist in New York.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And they
among others, yeah.
Okay. They made a video game. Really? What's the name of the Oh, somebody else corrected me on the Switch thing. They need to make Fall Guys for the Switch because I would buy it. 2 copies right now. Oh, right now. But yeah, let me. I did not know that. I need to take
Oink
note to
Games.
self. Talk to Oink Games about video games on Switch. Speaking of which, that just reminded me of another thing. I just got a review copy of I got a review code of Roll for the Galaxy, the new app.
Oh, okay.
I got a copy of that for Android. I need to download and test out. Oh, hey, Richmond. Philip, you know Richmond. Fellow wait in line at 5 a.m. in the GenCon press line, Richmond.
Because we're all crazy.
Hey, if it gets you your badges without waiting too long.
Well, it was okay, take Shi and Hiroshi. Okay. Well, it was also that to get into the dealer hall an hour early if you were one of the first 100 people.
Right. That's great.
I was there too in my dreams. He was like, I was there this year. Where were you? I bet the line was pretty short this year.
Yeah.
There was somebody, I forget, I don't know who it was, but it was getting retweeted on Twitter of somebody actually in the Indianapolis Convention Center.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And they're like, where is everybody?
Yeah, I totally saw that. That was fun.
There were a whole bunch of those floating around. You had people like, I think someone took a picture of the Steak and Shake. And they're like, guys, there's no waiting.
Well, because there's
People
a lot
that
of
live in
there's a lot of people that live in
Indianapolis,
it. Yeah, because one of the Gen Con online games I was in, they pulled out one of the Sun King beers, and I was like, oh man, are they selling them online? They're like, I don't know, I just live in Indy. I'm like, you suck.
You could live in Indy, whatever, you know.
I could live in Indy. What I would do in Indy, I have no idea because I don't know what kinds of things are in Indy.
Gen Con.
Apparently, yeah. I just need that Patreon to hit them numbers so that I could just do this, and then it'd be easy to go to Gen Con because I'd just be right there.
Indeed.
So,
anyway.
all right, Philip, 10-year plan.
10-year plan?
Well, I figured that at our current growth rate, that's what it's going to take.
I mean, we could 5-year plan. Let's be ambitious.
Well, yeah, but 5-year plan for you, and then 5-year plan for me, so that's 10 years.
Okay, 10 years total. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's like a total.
Not sure that's how that works.
Well, no, it's like total man hours worked on a project.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy.
Well, no, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna spend 5 years doing it, and then Philip's not gonna do anything. So then I'm gonna have to spend the next 5 years getting him to bust his butt.
True. There you go.
So you're not working on it anymore. You're just working on him to work
exactly.
On it. Okay.
So wait,
oh my gosh.
I think he just brought up a point. Does this mean it's a 15-year plan now?
It's now a 15-year plan.
Oh man.
Wow.
So
speaking of things that are around 15 years old, I played a game.
Be very careful where you go with that.
I played a game with my stepdaughter who is 16.
Okay.
Which is a shock too.
Oh yeah, she's not.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anymore.
What? That child's 16?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She's driving in the car with me being in the car. So
she has her learners.
And you made it here today?
Yeah, I know. Trust me, it is actually a shock to me too. So if suddenly the podcast ultimately fails, then you know what happened to me.
She drove the car into the house?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. So I mentioned this in one of my vlogs that I had held on to this. I had gotten this from Bicycle Games. This is Tattoo Stories. And I had held on to it because the theme, the production looked great. Everything about the game looked great. And I had heard Eric Schlosson talk about it on Boards Alive, so I was really interested in it. And the kind of theming with it being about like tattoo and crazy art, I thought would appeal to Chloe. So I pulled this out with Chloe and Ashley and got them to play. So first of all, this is listed as a 4 to 6 player game and 30 minutes. So here's the other catch of this. I'm going to be reviewing this game having never played this game by the rules.
Oh my gosh. Because it's hard to play 4 players right now.
Well, it's hard to play 4 players, but also it depends on the 4 players you have to play. So I will explain how the game's supposed to work, and then I'll tell you how we played. Because I've talked with the creator, and this is an acceptable way of playing.
Okay.
Well, there's that.
So the game comes with it's a party game, and it comes with a stack of a bunch of cards. Each have different names on them. Like this says like pirate shit or pirate stuff. I was about to say pirate ship, not the other word. Like high heels, ice cream. There's just a bunch of random nouns and stuff like that. And then it comes with 6 whiteboards, which I gotta say, these are probably like the best high quality boards that I've ever seen in a board game. As far as like these are like serious like cardboard here. Whiteboard
like they
boards.
stole it from a classroom.
Yeah, exactly. And I like it because they have hashtag draw a tattoo on them.
Oh, nice.
So I think that's cool too. So I think it's like designed for you to like take pictures and post them up on the internet and
That's
stuff.
cool.
And then of course it comes with like your standard. These are just your everyday dry erase that you see in like every board game. But
Okay.
I was impressed by because I was expecting like the railroad ink that's just the laminated card stock.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I was expecting for wipe off boards.
I think Wits and Wagers has boards like that.
You know what? I think
the
you're
version
right.
we have.
I think you're right, but I think it's smaller. It's like
they are
like
not
half
that large.
this size.
Yes.
So
you're right.
The
about
way that Tattoo Stories is supposed to work is one person is the customer, and they grab like a hand of 10 of these noun cards, and they pick 5 of them, put them out on the table, and then it's go. You got 3 minutes. The other players have to make a tattoo incorporating as many of those ideas as they can in some weird, quirky way. Like tattoos are all about like symbolisms and stuff, like incorporating different bits, like, oh, this bit represents my mother and this represents, there's this quote that I liked in a movie or whatever. And as you play, the artists are supposed to like ask questions of the customer and like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie, to get inspiration to do this. And then after the 3 minutes or everybody's done, they reveal and talk about why they drew specific things, and the customer gives the noun card to each or to the person that symbolized that aspect the best.
Okay.
In their tattoo. The other thing is you can't erase anything until you're done with like the drawing. Then you can erase the whole thing, but like you're not allowed to correct anything
because it's permanent.
Right. Because it's a tattoo.
It's a tattoo.
So
just cross that out.
Yeah. So I sat down with Ashley and Chloe, intending to play it this way. And as soon as I started, like, you're a customer, Ashley's like, no, we're not doing that. She's like, you're over explaining this. We're not doing that. Because Ashley doesn't like any sort of like role playing kind of things. Like, no, we're just gonna. So the way that we ended up playing it was basically we just drew 5 random cards out of this box, and then all 3 of us drew a tattoo incorporating those bits, and then we flipped them over and explained them. And the way I explain it is going to sound like a negative, but I'm really just talking about one of the first kind of feelings that you get like this. It feels like when you're playing Cards Against Humanity, the first couple of times, well, anytime really you play it, and the point of the game is not to win. The point of the game is to get the biggest laugh out of your comments.
Okay.
Like that's the kind of same feeling that we were going with. Like in the real game, it's like once you get to a certain number of cards, you've won. But in our version, and because this way all 3 of us could play and all 3 of us could draw at the same time, is we're trying to see who can draw the funniest looking thing and incorporating all these different elements. Like I need to get some of the Chloe took pictures of them, and I should have gotten them, and I could have thrown them up here. But some of them were pretty hilarious. I'm trying to like one of them was like a mountain and like a movie quote and like a submarine and something like that. So I drew. I don't know how I got to thinking about this, but it was I drew a mountain and then a submarine shooting a can of beans at the mountain. With the movie quote being "It's too early in the summer to be tired of beans," which is actually from Brokeback Mountain.
Oh my gosh.
So,
See, you went with submarine, mountain, and movie quote.
yeah.
I was going to have an underwater mountain with the Red October.
Yeah.
And then there are things in here that don't react kindly to bullets.
Yeah, there you go. There's a couple other
gosh.
things that I don't remember exactly what were, because there was obviously 2 other cards. Tattoo Matthew's there. Tattoo Stories leaves a lot of room for customization, which is nice. Great game is great, fun, and it leads to some creative art. Prompt games creativity always a good time. Yeah. So yeah. We love this game, and also it's really quick, especially when you play and you're not like playing to win. You're just playing around or something. You just like dinner. Like this could be a good like restaurant type game where it's just we pull it out and like while we're waiting for food or something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then like when food gets there, you just wipe it off and put it away. Also, I found because everything like we have plenty of like baby wipes and alcohol wipes out because of all the pandemic stuff. Those are really great at cleaning whiteboards.
But that stuff's like that's so precious, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't use them like every time. But like when you erase with the whiteboard and you get all that residue that's left.
Mm-hmm.
So before I put it away, I clean off all the boards. So
who just came home from the store? Give me your wipe. I need to clean my boards.
The only negative, there's only one negative critique I have with this game, and that is it's a thematic choice. I know why they did it, but it's not very good. And that is the card text. They went with this cursive writing on it that makes it sometimes hard to read. So, like, at least the first time you look at it.
Is that mummy or morning?
Exactly. So
I saw mummy.
It is mummy. But that's the only criticism I have is that sometimes like for instance, you remember when I said pirate ship? That's because I genuinely the first time I pulled it out and the way the cursive was, I thought it said pirate ship, but it's actually pirate stuff. And it's just
Why would it be pirate stuff?
It's not misleading. It could also just be our brains. But it's just something. Sometimes the letters kind of blur together, so you don't 100% know what you're reading. Like the one that said "mummy." If we had been playing it, I could have easily seen somebody thinking that was money instead. But we've definitely had like someone be like, "Okay, we're doing this," and then I look over and I'm like, "I think this is something else."
Interesting.
And Eric's actually in the chat, and he said he agrees with the text, actually. So I'm wondering if that was a publisher choice, but I don't think that's a negative. Like it is a criticism of the game, but we are still having a lot of fun with it.
Good.
And like I said, this is a party game that normally you'd play with like a lot of people, but the three of us are playing and having a lot of fun
I'm
with.
glad you're enjoying it. That's
Yeah.
nice.
And this actually came out last year. This was a part of the, and one of the reasons I'm mentioning it, bringing it up, is because it got launched last year, and this was along with all the games by Bicycle stuff that came out, because Bicycle makes playing cards, and they're like, we're going to make board games now. And I saw the lineup where it didn't really describe a whole lot. It was just like the sell sheet that just had like a couple of words, and I'm like, none of these games really interest me. But I'm glad that I took a second look at Tattoo Stories, because it's actually really, really great. And I need to get the photos. I may text Chloe right now while you guys are talking about your game. So go.
So a story that we a story, you got me. A game that we got that we wanted to try out is called Nevada City. This is from Rio Grande Games, and we wanted to try it out because it's a Western game, and we love Westerns, don't we?
Yes, we do.
I don't know what you're talking about. You've never played a Western game before?
The first time I've ever heard of this. But yeah, so so this is a Western game. It plays 2 to 4 players, but I want to like put the
caveat.
No, just start with the end. Like
TLDR.
This game, it's not a bad game, but it's not a game for us.
Right.
So you're gonna hear us kind of nitpick at it, but it's not saying it's bad. It's just these are reasons why it's not for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like it.
You want to explain how the game works?
Yeah. So it's a worker placement game. There are going to be different places you can throw people action markers on to. You can go and put them on your farm and get crops, cattle, and silver. You can put them on somewhere on the board to fulfill a contract or sell goods and get different kinds of goods. And there are a couple of different elements that I have seen from other games in this. Like, for one, just having an enormous amount of goods in this. Like, there's commodities and goods, but there's 8 different types of goods essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's,
I think it's resources, right?
Oh, that might be
resources and commodities.
Yeah, resources and commodities. Yeah.
Yeah, the resources are like the cattle, the ore, and the wheat, and then the commodities are the wood and the clay and
iron,
whiskey, and music or entertainment. I think is what it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a cool thing in this game is each person picks a family at the beginning, and those are your workers essentially.
And they're unique.
Yeah. So they all have different powers, abilities. It's nothing like fancy. It's just saying like this person is better at getting crops than this other person might be.
This person can get you bricks really easily, that kind of thing.
So there's a bug buzzing around me. It's just distracting me. So yeah, you are sending workers to do these different actions, complete contracts, get goods, convert goods, and you're doing this over the course of 4 years, or in a 2-player game, 5 years. And in a year, there's going to be a certain number of rounds.
Mm-hmm.
In a round, you play all the action markers from one of your family members. So if one of my family members has 3 action markers, I'm taking basically 3 turns in a row if I use that person. Right. And that's kind of cool, but it can also lead to a little bit of AP in there. And so I can say, okay, this guy, he's good at getting crops, so I'm going to send him there. But also he's good at, I want to get that contract over there, but maybe I should save that for this other guy, and so on. You're thinking about all this different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some characters that only have 1 action. It's just like, okay, I know what I'm doing with that guy.
Yeah.
So you start out with 4 people, but you can hire additional workers over the course of the game. You're like basically hands on your ranch or
they come
your
in
homestead.
Come in on the train. And you can hire them for a year or so.
So at the end of a year, so once all the rounds in a year have passed, you can marry them into your family. So if you have a single daughter, every family has a mother, father, daughter, son, and you marry the opposite gender to your son or daughter. And so if you don't have an available one, you can't marry them. And so the most you can get is 6 family members, and then you can still have additional workers. But yeah, so you can get more things throughout the game, and you buy buildings and you place them on the board to be constructed with different what was it again? Commodities. So if a building needs 2 iron, a wood, and a brick to be constructed, I can send this person to it that they actually, when they go to help build something, they put an iron on it for free, basically. And so, okay, that's another option for something to know that person's good for it.
Yeah.
But so if you own a building, I saw Le Havre in this way. If you own a building, you can go to that building for free, but other people have to pay you to use that building. So that makes it more appealing to get buildings on the board. And buildings are also worth points at the end of the game. That's the goal of the game. You want to have the most points. But something else, I'm going to bounce back. At the beginning of every round during a year, you're going to flip up an event.
Oh yeah, the events.
And there's a large stack of events that comes in the game, and they do different things. Like sometimes they'll be good things.
Not often.
I'm trying to find one right now. So there is a flood of workers. So hiring costs at the hotel are canceled for the remainder of the year. So you can get people for
cheaper.
I think you still pay the cost on their card, but there's usually an additional cost that's associated with it.
Line.
But then there's other ones that make buildings catch on fire, so you can't use that building for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Or the
for the year. Mm-hmm.
And then there's one that was an unfortunate thing because over the course of the game, we were kind of leaning into the contracts aspect of it.
Yes.
And then the last year, it was pretty early on in the year, we got Mail Strike as an event. As place all available contracts on the bottom of the deck. Contracts are not available the remainder of the year.
And it was our last year.
So like, how much can we get points? Okay.
Yeah. Like, all right then. And there weren't really buildings left to build because we built them.
Yeah, we pretty much built all the buildings. And that's another thing. There's certain buildings that you cannot use in a 2-player game. The rules tell you, okay, don't play with these buildings with 2 players. And certain contracts give you bonuses if you have a building or if the building has been built. It'll give the bonus to another player.
Mm-hmm.
And we felt those were kind of underpowered if it dealt with buildings that you weren't supposed to use.
Yeah, it was kind of strange that they would include those contracts in a 2-player game without the buildings being in the game. But
yeah, the rules didn't address that. So we just discarded it and drew a new one if it dealt with something that we weren't playing with.
Right.
But so another thing that this game takes up a lot of space.
It's a huge table hog.
It's a table hog.
Yeah,
yes.
The board itself
it's 3 interlocking pieces.
Would you say it took up the size of a city?
Yeah. Well, the board itself is like 3 feet long. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's no exaggeration.
No,
a table that we have at home, it would probably take up most of the space.
Yeah.
How big is the box? Like, does it fold up that much?
It's a
normal box.
Ticket to Ride size box,
okay.
But there's one bifold board and then 2 additional boards that go on the side.
Oh, okay.
So Cindy's going to show it.
Yeah. So here's the main board that Collin was talking about.
Gotcha.
And then there's 2 other pieces that go on the sides
that are each this size, and they're double-sided based on player count, and they go on either side. And so it's a normal size box.
It's just really long.
Yes, because it comes. And it doesn't even interlock. That's the annoying thing. Like it's just like you see the edge of this board. There's no locking mechanism. So it can move apart from each other.
Mm.
But yeah, so there.
I mean, that's just an annoyance.
I don't think it even came up in our games where the boards moved.
No, I don't think it did either. But the size of the board definitely did.
Yeah.
Because I'm short.
And so playing just the two of us, we're like, I can't reach everything really because it's so far away.
Yeah, you have to get up instead of just, hey, can you pass me that?
But so I'm saying all this stuff that's kind of negative on it, but it's for a particular crowd. Like,
can you guess what kind of crowd it would be? That's what when I know a game is probably good, it's just not my style.
Oh, yeah.
I always try
we're
and
getting
like
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
Yeah, there is something that I did not like in this game is it felt a little too open. Like if I got a couple of buildings on the board and I just focus on those buildings, I can use those as much as I want practically, and not have to worry about anything. So it felt a little bit too loose for me, and it makes me think that maybe people that like Caverna more than Agricola, like, because Caverna is a little bit more open. It's still more restrictive than this, but there's
Which
a lot
I think
more.
Is just about everybody.
No, there's a lot of people that like Agricola.
I know.
Yeah, and I actually want to try Agricola again for that reason. Not because of this game, but just because
it's a farming game.
Yeah, because it's a farming game. Yes. So, yeah, I'm hesitant to give this an actual number, just because I know, like,
because you're already saying it's
really
not for you.
Yeah,
correct.
Like we played it, and I understood stuff that was going on in it, and
it's not that it's necessarily. I mean, it's a heavy game. I use air quotes. Like I don't know what the weight is on BGG, but I mean it's definitely not like your average gamer's game. That's for sure. And it's not like it was anything that was too heavy for Collin and I to play.
Right.
I mean we certainly comprehended it all, and that didn't at all deter me, because I enjoy games that can be heavier. But I feel like this is one of those games, like, it's very dry. And not that I'm adverse to not having, theme, or, I'm fine with dry games. Like, I love Castles of Burgundy. That's fairly dry. But
I think that's the definition of dry.
Yeah. But this just didn't click with me. And so I feel like if you are one of those people that really likes, like, heavy, dry Euros, this is going to be something that you would probably enjoy. And maybe I personally didn't enjoy it because I was expecting more of a Western game, and this I get it did feel Westerny, I suppose, because sure, you're like, not colonizing, that's the wrong word, you're building up your little ranch, and you're building up the city of Nevada City, So it was that aspect of Western exploration, but it didn't feel like Western exploration to me for some reason.
Right.
I don't know. It's just.
And Eric mentioned in the chat that it's got great artwork, though, unlike a lot of heavy, dry Euro games.
This has great artwork.
Oh, maybe he was talking about his game, Tattoo Stories. I don't know. Hold up the box.
Eric was talking about Tattoo Stories.
The box is good.
That's what I said. I thought I saw the box, and it didn't look that compared to a lot. Like
I gotta grab it again.
I'm just saying when you compare it to like Castles of Burgundy, it looks pretty good.
This box art is delightful.
Yeah,
I like that. But then when you look at the sides, I can't do this without stuff falling.
Right.
There we go. If you look at the sides, there's like characters.
Yeah.
There's little characters. And it's just like this. That's not, I don't know.
By the way, homesteading it might be the term you were looking for.
Oh, yes. Homesteading. Thank you. That is it. But yeah, so I think that artwork's kind of funky. And then like the resources, they're little cardboard chits, which is fine. I have no problem with cardboard chits as being my tokens. Like, I'm totally fine with it. But these are they're so boring.
Yeah, I actually prefer the cardboard chips in
they spend all the money on the box art.
Just the box cover, really. Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, there's nothing necessarily bad about these tokens, but it's just so generic and so like bland.
So apparently the missions have that look like they were torn out of old newspapers.
Yeah, the
oh yeah, they did.
So I'm assuming
The
Eric's played
contracts.
this game, so because he was talking about Nevada City.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and some people may very much enjoy this artwork. It's just not my preferred art style.
I was
But,
just
you
mentioning
know.
when you're talking about dry Euros, like Castles of Burgundy, this has like several legs up as far as cover art.
Oh yeah. The
Hmm.
cover's so much better.
Or like Trois, like the first version, the original version of Trois.
is there a new version?
I thought it was getting remade or something. I'm getting my news mixed up. All those games are blending together. Oh, they're making a dice game. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, Twat 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably what I'm
And
thinking
then
of.
one other weird thing. Now this might just be a print issue with our game.
It's a factory issue. So the blue tokens, for the blue player, they came out as more navy than the rules. The rules
show it like a bright
as
blue.
like a traditional blue,
Okay.
but they came out as like a navy, and there's a black player as well.
and they're
Mm,
very hard
So
to tell
yeah,
apart on the
it can
board.
be really hard.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
we played it 2-player, so that wasn't an issue.
So we use yellow and navy.
It was just my initial sorting of the pieces where it was a problem.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, yes, not necessarily a bad game. People will definitely love this game, but it's not for us. It was not that Western game that we expected it
Yeah,
to be.
you're interacting in a different way than we're used to with a Western game.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Carson City, Western Legends, like the interactive stuff is getting in each other's faces.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, you're just getting a building and putting it on and
Yeah.
hoping someone comes and uses it.
And that might be why we don't like it, because it's just totally different than what we expected. I don't know.
And there's also, you're taking spots before other people can take it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that
Yeah.
was
That's
Nevada, City
City
from
Rio Grande.
Yep, Rio Grande Games.
It might be pronounced Nevada. I've heard people saying, no, it's pronounced Nevada.
You're
said
moving
Nevada?
closer, so you should know. Like, isn't that next to Arizona? I'm getting my
It is.
geography wrong.
It shares an edge, yeah.
Okay. Before I start talking about Patreon, I got Chloe to send me some of the pics, and I think the
Oh,
easiest
cool.
way is me to attempt to just show the phone. So, and luckily we took pictures with the words in here, so I can remember what these drawings were. So here's the best set here. So the 5 words that we got was this is back to Tattoo Stories, which, to correct the comment about the
Card
font, the font of the card,
Oh.
the font style. Apparently it was in a different font, and they changed it to be more thematic because they said that tattoos are supposed to be slightly misunderstood anyways.
Well, that's kind of clever.
So the 5 words we had were poop, vegetable, cartoon character, gangsta, and 90s theme. So first up, let's see if you can actually... So first up is Chloe, who this stick figure is apparently Snoop Dogg. And then for the cartoon character, you got SpongeBob with a poop
that.
hat, and then Snoop is holding a carrot.
I thought it was an
my
ice cream cone. I
Yeah.
heard you say vegetable, but I saw
Vegetable.
ice cream.
So my thought is I went 90s themed and cartoon character together, and I attempted to draw a Darkwing Duck.
Oh,
Oh
that's,
my
that's
gosh.
actually
Also holding a
decent.
carrot with his gas gun shooting poop.
Oh my gosh.
And then Ashley's was by far the best. So this looks like Grimace to me from the
From Sesame Street.
no Grimace
Or
from
no.
like the McDonald's.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, that's
But
right.
no, this is Larry the Cucumber from VeggieTales.
Oh, I actually thought it was like plankton with a pear shape.
No, so he's got like a poop tattoo and then like like a boom box because 90s and boom boxes. And
Yeah,
then
the ghetto blaster.
Yeah. So
That's
that just shows you like let me see if there's I think that's here I'll do one more. So the words were this isn't the same one. So it must have been submarine must have been a different one because this has castle, submarine, juggling geometric shapes and infinity symbol. So Ashley did like she drew a castle with like shape fireworks, basically geometric shapes out front, and then a juggler up in the front. That's and then clever. Chloe and I kind of went very similar routes, except for she drew a castle juggling with all with all the different shapes. And then I drew, because the first thing I said when I saw infinity symbol, I was like, oh, I can make somebody's eyes be the infinity symbol.
Wow.
And then his mouth is the geometric shape. And then he's juggling a castle, some other geometric shapes, and a submarine.
That's hilarious. Wow.
I actually like yours the best. I like the movement lines. I think did it for me.
Yeah, I like that too. That's really cool, Chris.
Yeah, so there you go. That just shows you and in fact, this isn't even going on the shelf down here. It's going to go upstairs by the table where we could just like pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with that, let's talk Patreon for a sec, because one thing I forgot is we need to finish our top 50 games list for our patrons.
Oh my gosh!
I think we're only on like 35.
Yeah, and mine's kind of morphed a little bit already.
Well, it's just going to be as is. You can revise it later on your own show.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about is if you go to patreon.com/boardsandswords, we've got our Patreon there. It just kind of helps just support. Like, I was able to get some new lights for the studio, that sort of thing, and help. Like, I've also used it to get some games to play on the Dirtbag show. We've used it to help get some supplies and stuff we need for the Tangled in the Slipstream, the podcast or actual play. I'm stumbling over myself. But yeah, and we're not asking for a whole lot. I don't even want you to look at the other tiers. All I do is want you to look at the $1 a month. For $1 a month, you are getting access to our private Slack where you can ask us any and everything you ever wanted. And then you get access to our super secret feed, which you can get any of these bonus extras. That's where the Tangled in the Strip string is going to be, all that stuff, $1 a month. That's all you got to do. If you want to do more and get dice and stuff, and I know for the past couple episodes, I said I'm going to send out these dice. I've sent out half of them. Half of them have already been sent out. They got sent out last week.
I've seen them posted somewhere.
Yeah.
I forget where.
So especially if you are a newer patron, yours got prioritized first since you hadn't gotten any before. If you have gotten dice, you're at the bottom of my list. So, Hoser 40K just got the Boards and Swords dice. And then I also found like a set of pins that I'd had, buttons that I had gotten forever ago. I just threw those in as well because I was like, why not?
Nice.
So, so there you go. If you want to do that, that's $5 a month. That's up to you and what your financial status is. But $1 a month is all we really ask for. And thanks to everybody that is hanging out with us and that has been supporting us over at patreon.com/boardsandswords. And now I'm going to turn it to myself. I forgot for a second that I did the game.
The game show.
All right, now it's time for the segment where Chris attempts to do a board game or attempts to do a game show that probably sucks. All right, this one probably shouldn't suck that much because I ripped it off from somebody else. And it is basically we're basically doing higher or lower.
Oh, okay.
This is I've seen it done on, or I've heard it done on. This game is broken. However, this is a separate list. We're going to do, as of earlier today when I grabbed this list, this is the BGG hotness list.
Oh.
Higher or lower. So all you got to do is I'm going to give you a game. In fact, your seed game, so your starting game, is the Castles of Tuscany. Which is a game that's not ranked yet. It's in 2020. It's not officially ranked on like BGG, but the Castles of Tuscany is in the hotness. That's your starting game. And so I'm just going to go kind of in order around the screen.
Okay. And
just give you one and just rotating around. And then, Philip, are you keeping track in the show notes?
I will keep track.
Okay. Awesome. So and I will give you the date that it either came out or is scheduled to come out. Here is the problem. I'm not going to give you the exact numbers because you're only dealing with like 15 games. So the ability to just game theory this out is really high. So I'm going to just tell you if you're right, if it's higher or lower, but I'm not going to tell you by how much.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I can read the complete list if you're really curious as to where everything's placed.
How many games are in the hotness?
15. There's 15
Okay.
games. So this should go pretty fast, probably. So first game, like I said, is Castles of Tuscany. All right. Cindy. Gloomhaven from 2017. The #1 game on Board Game Geek. Is it higher or lower than Castles of Tuscany on the BGG hotness as of earlier today?
So the hotness being what people are searching for right now.
That's like
correct?
what's on the minds right now.
This is hard. I'm going to say lower.
You're
but I
saying
don't
that
think
Gloomhaven is lower.
Yes, Gloomhaven is further away from one.
Yes. Gloomhaven is lower than Castles of Tuscany. And by the way, I'm not saying that Castles was the #1 on the hotness. It was just in the list somewhere. So, yes, Gloomhaven was lower than Castles of Tuscany. So, Collin, your game is Cloud Age. Is Cloud Age, it's what? Cloud Age, just announced 2020. Is it higher or lower than Gloomhaven on the BGG hotness?
I'm going to say higher.
Okay, Cloud Age is higher than Gloomhaven, you're saying?
Yes.
That is correct. Cloud Age is higher than Gloomhaven. So, Philip, your game is Wingspan, which came out in 2019, last year, #20 on the overall BGG ranking page. One of my wife's recently favorite games. Is Wingspan higher or lower on the hotness than Cloud Age?
Than Cloud Age.
The game that just got announced. So it's more of how much do people are talking about.
I'm going to say that Wingspan is lower than Cloud Age.
Okay, this game's going super easy right now because you're correct. Maybe I didn't do this well. I think it's going to get harder.
I would have gotten that wrong. I would have said Wingspan was higher.
I happen to be needing to find Cloud Age like either yesterday or today, and it was at the top. So I wasn't going to say anything until now, until it wasn't the measuring
You're right.
stick.
It was at the top.
Yeah.
But all right. So the next game. So Cindy, we're back to you. I think this is when it's going to start getting harder. Brass Birmingham. From 2018.
Wingspan.
The #3 game on BGG. Is it higher or lower than Wingspan?
I think it's lower.
Going with you're saying that Brass Birmingham is lower than Wingspan in the hotness.
Mm-hmm.
You are incorrect. Brass Birmingham is higher than Wingspan.
All right then.
All right, Collin, your game is the #13 game on BGG on the BGG 100, and it came out in 2017. Spirit Island. Is Spirit Island higher or lower on the hotness than Brass Birmingham?
That's got some nice broken token and big box stuff coming out right now. I'm going to go higher.
Okay. You're saying, I'm repeating so that there's no chance that I'm getting it incorrect, or limited chance. I guess there's still a chance. You're saying that Spirit Island is above Brass Birmingham on...
It is
on
closer to the most hottest things.
Okay, that would be correct. It is higher.
Cool.
All right. Philip, your game is Root, the #34 game on BGG. Came out in 2018, has a bunch of cute little animal meeples, but is it higher or lower on the hotness list than Spirit Island?
I'm going to say it's lower.
It is lower. So that's another point.
Everybody's at 2 points but me.
Yep. All
Make a
right.
mistake early.
Well, here's your chance to redeem yourself. Is Hamburg, the 2021 announced revised version, is it higher or lower than Root?
This is the Bruges replacement.
Yeah.
Yes, the Bruges.
So Root was higher than Spirit Island. Is that correct?
Root was lower than Spirit Island.
Oh, lower. Okay, then Hamburg. I'm gonna say it's higher.
That is correct. It is higher than Root. Hamburg is higher than Root. All right, Collin, you're
Back to
at.
me.
Now we're going to get a little bit further away from the top of the list. Your game came out in 2018 at 1260. Smartphone Inc. Is Smartphone Inc. higher or lower than Hamburg?
Well, I've been seeing pictures about it recently, but
I think it's coming to the U.S. soon.
It's already here, I thought.
Is it?
Ah.
It wasn't available in the U.S. for a long while.
Oh.
So I don't know when it came, if it has yet.
I thought it had been out for a while because I thought it was advertised at GenCon last year.
Oh.
It might have been, but it was really hard to get.
Yeah, it was an Essen release, and like people were like, "Yes, I have a copy of Smartphone," and everybody's like, "What? What? I want this."
So, but is
so-
it higher or lower than Hamburg?
I am gonna say it's lower.
You would be incorrect. Smartphone Inc. is higher than Hamburg by 2 spots.
I could have gone either way.
I'll let you know this one. It was by 2 spots.
Yeah.
All right. The next one, Philip, you've actually played this game. Marvel Champions, the card game.
What? Marvel Champions?
Yes, this is actually Marvel Champions is in the top 100 now, guys.
Oh, good.
It
for
is
you.
64th. What? 2019, 64. Is Marvel Champions higher or lower than Smartphone Inc.?
I'm going to go with it's lower.
It is lower.
Mm.
Now, Cindy, we're back to you. Had I done this game like 2 weeks ago, I feel like this might be in a completely different place, but your game is Fort. 2020,
Oh.
4063. Is Fort higher or lower than Marvel Champions?
Higher.
It is higher.
Yeah,
All right.
it's super popular right now.
I used die to randomize this, but I don't know if I think it might have been too predictable. All right, Collin. Terraforming Mars. We're back to number 4. Is Terraforming Mars higher or lower than Fort?
I hope it's lower.
It is lower.
Okay.
All right.
When will people shut up about that game? No, I'm kidding.
And then Philip, Arkham Horror, the card game. Is it higher or lower than Terraforming Mars?
I'm going to say it's higher.
It is lower by 1 spot.
Oh man, tiebreaker.
I think we're all 3 tied now.
Are we? Well, there's
I
2
will.
left. So I think
everyone got something wrong.
I think there's 2 left, so I think we're going to have everybody answer these.
2 left.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because you
There's 2.
started with 1.
Yes.
That we didn't. Yeah, got it.
All right. So your next game is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion versus Arkham Horror. Actually,
What?
no.
What?
Because that's too easy. Because I
It'd
think
be higher.
you're all just going to guess higher.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip. So we'll start so the final question, this will be worth like 2 points. Which one is higher on the list? Is it Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, or is it the Princess Bride adventure book game that I just talked about?
Oh.
So Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion came out in 2020 and is currently ranked at 256. Or the Princess Bride adventure book game, also coming out in 2020, but unreleased as of yet, but was just announced, I think about a week ago. So, Philip, we'll start with you. Which one is higher on the hotness list?
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. So Philip's going Princess Bride. Collin.
Probably
Probably should have had you write these down.
I'll do Princess Bride as well.
Princess Bride as well. So Cindy.
I was saying Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
the number 3 game on the hotness versus the other one, which is the number 5 game. The number 3 game on the hotness is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
No tiebreaker.
No tie. What? No, Cindy won.
That
then.
was the tiebreaker, basically.
That was the tiebreaker.
I know. If Philip and I were both right, then there would have had to been like another subset.
Oh, okay.
I would have come
But I
up with
won.
something. Yeah, the overall list with Cloud Age, Castles of Tuscany, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, Smartphone Inc., Princess Bride Adventure Book Game, Hamburg, Fort, Spirit Island, Gloomhaven, Brass Birmingham, Marvel Champions, Terraforming Mars, Arkham Horror the card game, Root, and then Wingspan topping off the list.
Wow.
Yeah, the two I remembered because I said I looked at the hotness just to pull up Cloud Age real quick, and yeah, I knew Cloud Age, Castles of Tuscany, and then my mind just went. So after the first few games, I had no information.
All right. Well, that is all that we've got this time. So again, like I said, you can let me know how terrible that was.
No, that was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't as terrible as some of the other ones.
That's true. All right. I think we're done. Roll that music. That wraps up this week's episode. If you want to watch the show live, we'll be here. Some of us are leaving, but some of us will still be here. Every other Wednesday, boardsandswords.com/live has the schedule and the links to our live streaming channels. That's the place to go.
If you like this show, you got to check out our website, boardsandswords.com, where you can find our second podcast, The Dirtbags of Holding. And that's where we take all the greatest RPGs that these developers put their hearts and souls into, and we rip them apart for your enjoyment.
If you like this show, you can email us comments and questions at feedback@boardsandswords.com. You can follow us on Instagram at boardsandswordspod or on Facebook at facebook.com/boardsandswordspod. And you should follow our individual accounts. I'm Cindy Pastorius on Twitter and Instagram.
I am ColdCakes196 on Twitter and Instagram.
I am Chris Isn't Bored, BOARD on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me on Twitter at Phil the Dirtbag.
And we are also a part of Punchboard Media, a collaboration effort of different people making written reviews, podcasts, videos, and you can find all this great content at punchboardmedia.com today.
And thank you for listening. Once again, go check out patreon.com/boardsandswords to help support the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and you need to be going to YouTube and checking out all these cool videos I'm doing. And also, Hoser 40K should not be getting off work early just to watch these. You can watch them, later.
Yeah.
You're in the Slack, man.
Comments.
You can live chat with us in the Slack while you watch it.
True.
Ooh, yeah. Live tweet of sorts.
And John Collins is saying he missed it. He should you should be able to just rewind the thing. Or I'm about to hit stop and you could just hit play. There you go. So the music ran out. It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Go home.
Movie's over,
Hey,
guys.
John.
Why are you still here?
Thanks, though. Next 2 weeks at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.